Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into Key Time Sports. It's Key Time coming back to talk about all of the things that I saw in college football week 13. I'm going to start it off with this because Clemson, they looked like they had lost their groove and lost their chance at being in the ACC championship game, but they were able to do that. So now Clemson, they was up 14-7 late in the fourth quarter. I said that they would have to score at least another touchdown or field goal to have a good chance of holding a lead and winning it. But Clemson was up 14-7, 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and then all of a sudden, South Carolina scored 10 unanswered points. Now, I know I've given a lot of grief to Cade Klubnik. I said after the Georgia game that he would not be able to withstand the level of vitriol and pressure that it comes playing for the Clemson Tigers, but he was able to have a good season. He was 24 of 36, 280 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. Lenore Sellers, 13 of 21, 164 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. But where the Clemson Tigers really messed up at was if they would have won this game, the ACC championship game. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, I know what happened with Miami, and I'm going to get into that later on in the show. But as of right now, there's this term, win and you're in, and that's what the Clemson Tigers had a chance to do. Third down efficiency, both teams were about the same. Fourth down efficiency, Clemson, they did not convert on that fourth down play. But all in all, this was going to be a defensive game. And like I knew it was going to be a defensive game because I said Friday, I'm like, I got Clemson winning this game and it's going to be close. Only way Clemson loses this is if they have turnovers. Now, Clemson, they had 2 turnovers. South Carolina had 3 turnovers. This is what I call a turnover fest. So South Carolina's all of their points, and I'm telling you, all of South Carolina's points came off of turnovers. If Clemson, if you don't have any turnovers, you win this game. So this is a this was a very entertaining game on the defensive side. And now Clemson and SMU are headed to the ACC championship. Now, I'm pretty sure everybody is wondering, Clemson, they just lost. Yes, they did lose. But I'm going to tell you, this leads into my next take about the Miami Hurricanes. The Miami Hurricanes, they lost. And I mean, they really messed up. The Hurricanes, they lost and messed up really bad because they had a chance. They had a chance at winning this game and going to the ACC championship game. But I'm going to show y'all. Miami Hurricanes started off the season 9-0. Everybody's saying that, hey, they might have a chance at going undefeated. Miami, since the season has started, who have they played as far as top notch on their schedule? They haven't played any ranked teams, if I'm not mistaken. They haven't played any ranked teams. The teams that really gave them trouble throughout the season are Louisville, Georgia Tech. They lost to, and a lot of people, they said that they should have lost earlier in the season to Virginia Tech, but it was a controversial call that went Miami's way, and they won that game. But this game, Syracuse Orange, I knew that this game was going to be one of those tough games because Syracuse, they still have a chance. They was already had a chance to get a bowl game, which they already have locked up a bowl game, but they had an outside chance at getting into the college football playoff. Syracuse. Now we see where Miami, I mean, up and down the field. Cam Ward had a good game. 25, 36, 40, 349 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. But the Miami defense, and I've had trepidation with the Miami defense all season. Everybody, offense, look at this. Xavier Restrepo, Jacoby George, Elijah Award, Cam McCormick, Isaiah Horton, everybody. Everybody was, they had a lackluster performance if you talk about the Miami Hurricanes. And the Miami Hurricanes were projected of winning this game. And not to mention, they were up by 21 points in the first half, 21-0. And all of a sudden, you just, in the second half, you just play around with your food and have somebody take your chance at going to the the ACC championship away from you. And that is what Miami did. So now I do not want to see the college football playoff committee pencil the Miami Hurricanes in the top 12 and say that they are qualified to play a team like Ohio State, Oregon, or Georgia. I don't want to see that because we know that this Miami Hurricanes defense has been god awful all season, and then y'all want to put them up against a top notch offense. That's if the college football committee does that. Now, tomorrow, college football committee will come out with the playoff standings and the all 12 teams who have a chance at making the playoffs. But as of right now, I do not want to see the college football playoff committee do what they have done the last 2 years with having a game like Georgia TCU or Florida State and Georgia like we had last year. I don't want to see any blowouts when it comes to these 12 big games that will determine who is the champion of the college football playoff. I don't want to see no blowouts. Miami, are y'all back? I don't know. But y'all been saying that for the past 15 years that y'all have been back. Beat somebody that is legitimate. You don't have a quality win on your schedule, but I still have a feeling that the college football committee gonna place you in there anyway. And for Syracuse, you're 9-3. You have a bowl game on the horizon. Win your bowl game, go out 10-3, and see what you can do in the recruiting cycle. Now, the next game I want to cover is the Texas Longhorns versus the Texas A&M Aggies. Now, this game, Lone Star Showdown, or the Lone Star State Shootout, as I like to call it. But it wasn't no shootout because Texas A&M, they couldn't get out of their way. They couldn't get out of their own way when it comes to offensive wise. The Texas Longhorns, they had a little bump in the road when it came to their offense in this game too. Quinn Ewers, 17 of 28, 218 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And then you have the rushing attack for the Texas Longhorns. It cracked over 200 yards. And the Texas A&M Aggies rushing attack, it only cracked over 100 yards, to be exact, 102. So now we see what the Texas A&M Aggies, what they are under Mike Elko, and credit to Mike Elko for doing a fantastic job in his first season, because we all know the level of vitriol that Jimbo Fisher left, and they still paying Jimbo Fisher. I believe Jimbo Fisher, he He has 5 more years on that 10-year contract, and after that, they'll pay him in full, and then they can specifically focus their future on Mike Elko. So Texas A&M, team that is on the rise, a team that is a force to be reckoned with going into next season. Also, the Texas Longhorns, Steve Sarkisian, we knew that the Texas Longhorns would be in the thick of things come this time of the season. They are 11-1. Now they have an SEC championship game appearance with the Georgia Bulldogs. Texas Longhorns lost to the Georgia Bulldogs earlier on in the season. Now, I am going to say my prediction for all conference championship games this week for another show. But as of right now, let me talk about the Texas Longhorns. Texas Longhorns on third down in this game, they win and 1-for-1 on third down. Texas A&M, they were 4 of 11 on third down, 0 of 3 on fourth down. The Texas A&M Aggies were. Now you see both of these teams. The Texas A&M, they're on the way up to the top. They are going to be a force to be reckoned with. Texas A&M, they've been up here. They've been up there for the last 2 years. So now let's see what the Texas Longhorns can do when they face the Georgia Bulldogs. And let's see if they are able to maneuver the offense like they have done. Because since Texas lost to Georgia, they have reshuffled that offensive line. They have let Quinn Ewers mainly take control of the offense while he's on the field. But just like I said, Steve Sarkisian, he's still in his quarterback's ear, guiding them through plays during the game and after the game. So now we see Texas and Texas A&M, they are going to have I'm happy that this rivalry is back because we missed this. We did. We missed it. For the last 13 years, we haven't had it. Now we have it, and now it is here to stay. The next game I'm going to cover, and this was surprising to me. It was surprising to me, is the Michigan Wolverines and the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, everybody sit back, relax, because I am going to take quite a few minutes at watching this game. I'm at delivering you the details of this game. So, Ohio State coming into this game, they were 10-1. Everything was in their favor. Everybody had them penciled in for the Big Ten Big Ten championship game. And only thing they had to do was just go out there and win the game versus versus Michigan. Ohio State should have won this game versus Michigan because, I mean, Michigan, they at every position, they are dilapidated at every position because they've had a 3-quarterback system all season. It's been Davis Warren, Alex Orji, and then other times it has been a couple of other it has been other quarterbacks that have led the Michigan Wolverines. Now, Ohio State, they shouldn't have lost this game at all because Ohio State has one of the best offenses in college football. Also, Ohio State has a top-notch defense in college football. So with you losing a game like this, and it was pretty much a low-scoring game, only thing that the Ohio State Buckeyes had to do was kick maybe 2 more field. No, what they should have did was, because Will Howard, there were 2 possessions where he threw interceptions. If you get two field goals off of that, obviously we are having a different conversation. Will Howard, I'm not just going to place the blame on Will Howard. I am going to place this blame collectively as a whole, because over the last 4 years, off season, preseason, during the season, everybody in the Ohio State Buckeyes organization has been saying that they have been prepping for Michigan. But every time you have played Michigan since the start of this new decade, you've lost. And Jim Harbaugh is gone. He's been gone for a year now. He really has. He's been gone for a year. Now you have Sharon Moore at the helm. Sharon Moore, this guy, he was not given a silver platter when it comes to this team. Because the quarterback that was in Michigan last year is now in Minnesota, J.J. McCarthy. The running back, Blake Corum, he is now in LA with the Los Angeles Rams. Now, this has been a rebuilding year for the Michigan Wolverines. And credit, 4 weeks ago, I said to myself, I didn't think that the Michigan Wolverines would win another game. But now they are bowl eligible at 7-5. So they are going to play in a bowl game. As far as Ohio State, I'm starting to think that Ohio State is just a team that's full of hype. I said this about the Oregon Ducks. I've been saying it, well, since I started this show. Over the last year and a half, Oregon, a team full of hype. Ohio State, a team full of hype. Ohio State, they haven't won a championship in 10 years. But every year since 2014, they've just been knocking on the door, knocking on the door, knocking on the door. It's about time that you kick the joker in if you are an Ohio State fan. When is Ohio State gonna knock the door down and get another championship? Because they have had the teams over the years to do that exact same thing. But I don't know. It seems like a speed bump happens. And in this case, it seems like the speed bump is Michigan. Now, when Justin Fields was there, they made it all the way to the national championship game. They ain't got their doors blown off versus Alabama. And then ever since then, Michigan 2021, Michigan 2022, Michigan 2023, and Michigan on Saturday. You have lost to them 4 straight years, and this is the first time since 88 to 91, 1988 to 1991, that the Ohio State Buckeyes have lost to the Michigan Wolverines 4 consecutive times. Now, what I'm going to say about Ryan Day, stop it. Just stop it. Everybody that is saying that Ryan Day should lose his job, you need to stop, because if Ryan Day loses his job, who is Ohio State going to find that can put teams year after year after year in the championship conversation like Ryan Day has? And it was even before Ryan Day. Urban Meyer, he did the exact same thing, put the Ohio State Buckeyes year after year in the championship conversation. Now we know that Ryan Day has had speed bumps along the road when it comes to big games. Like I said, the big game versus Clemson, when Trevor Lawrence was there, he lost that one. The big game versus Michigan in 2021, he lost that one when both teams were undefeated. And also 5 games versus Michigan, he's lost 4 of them. He's only won 1. And overall, Ryan Day's record in big games is concerning because he is 9-13 in big games against top-notch competition, and against top-notch competition, mainly top 10 opponents. He doesn't fare well against top-notch competition when it comes to a big game. So now, what do the Ohio State Buckeyes do? What they need to do is stick with Ryan Day, and they do not need to fire Ryan Day and go looking for another coach, because eventually Ohio State is going to break through and win a national championship under the tutelage of Ryan Day. But as of right now, this loss is going to sit with the Ohio State Buckeye fans and the Ohio State Buckeye organization for a while, because Michigan, most of their guys were out for the season, or out for injury when it comes to this game, and they had a chance to beat the Michigan Wolverines. Will Howard, this game he underperformed. 19 of 33, 175 yards, one touchdown, two interceptions that proved costly, and also down situations. Michigan was 50% on third down. Excuse me. And Ohio State, they were 6 of 16 on third down. Also, fourth down, 1 or 2 for the Ohio State Buckeyes on fourth down. Michigan, 0 for 1 on third down. So now, Ohio State, you finished off the regular season 10-2. Michigan, you finished off the season 7-5. Both of you are eligible for a bowl game. So now there's only one other thing to say. Best of luck to both Michigan and Ohio State. Hopefully, the Ohio State Buckeyes go very far in the playoffs. Hopefully, the Michigan Wolverines win their playoff game. And with that, those are my those are my takeaways from and with that, those actions from the week 13 slate of the 2024 season in college football. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell to get notified of all of my reaction videos, shows, and other content. And please follow Key City Sports on TikTok. And remember one last thing, the key is always on time.